feeling like I'm Akademiks.
All right, well, Metro Boomin, he's actually, if you guys don't know, so Metro Boomin was actually charged, well, not charged, and this is why we got to get our colloquial, well, not colloquial, but we got to get our, our verbiage and our terms very accurate, because Metro Boomin was sued over a 2016 sexual assault. A woman that claims she used to date him, claims that she was taken advantage of by Metro Boomin when she supposedly did not give consent and he did fuck her. There doesn't seem to be any police trail to this. Doesn't seem like there was a police investigation, and clearly doesn't seem like there's any impending or even possible arrest that might come for Metro Boomin. So what does it lead to? If you file this 9 years later, you want the bag. Now it's kind of interesting for some people because Metro Boomin was one of the people who were on the side of Kendrick Lamar, who were saying that Drake and his people, they're certified PDFs, certified this, and sexual deviants, all to find out that Metro is being accused of being a sexual deviant. Ironic, isn't it? Anyway, the guy known as Leland Wayne, we know that from the song, apparently there was, and if you don't know how, I'm going to do him a solid and do justice in covering the story despite our history. It is what it is. When you get into these civil cases, there's like usually arbitration, mediation. The judge will force you into trying to broker some type of deal that this doesn't go to court. Why? Courts generally are bogged down with civil cases that might be frivolous or actually legit. And sometimes the courthouses, they want to really use their resources for criminal cases, not for civil cases. So they want people to come to agreements rather than the judge have to sit through a trial. People don't want to show up to a jury trial because, somebody feels they're owed millions of dollars. Like, if somebody got shot and they could go to jail for life, that's probably something like, okay, that's something, you need a jury for. But people arguing over money, come on. Anyway. The judges usually try to make sure people could get these arbitration or mediations going on, that people could come to agreements. Now, with most of these situations here, again, I don't know Metro. I don't know what he did or what he didn't do, but I think rule of thumb goes like this. Someone could be completely innocent of any different crime, even sexual assault. And maybe that person would contemplate paying out. Like, right? You might be like, oh, well, I got raped at your house, or I got whatever. Somebody might contemplate, like, you know what? All right, yeah, shorty, take this $20,000 and get the fuck out of here, man. Okay? Because again, the way how civil cases work, it's about liability, right? Are you liable for what is being accused, right? However, we're now in a place where people like to throw these heavy accusations on people. So once it's now known to the public, you can't plea out. You can't settle with these motherfuckers. And this is where I think Diddy obviously went wrong. And I think even Shannon Sharp went wrong. You got to take them to the full extent, especially if there's legit nothing that could come back on a criminal level for you. You notice a lot of bullshit. You got to take them to court, bro. That's just what it is. So it looks like Metro Boomin basically they have passed the phase of a possible settlement or mediation. So what does it mean? Metro is going to go to trial, okay? And let me see. Yeah, so jury selection is going to start on the 23rd. And essentially, let me see. By the way, these are details. There's a 38-year-old woman now. Obviously, 9 years ago, she was 29. Okay. She said she met Metro in Vegas after the death of her infant son, visited him in California. She said she blacked out after consuming alcohol and Xanax, awoke to find Metro fucking her. She said she became pregnant from the encounter. Later, she had an abortion. She's seeking unspecified damages for sexual battery and gender violence. Okay? Now, his lawyer says a pure shakedown, but what just happened is that the they have passed the time of. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So the judge tried to force them into settlement discussions, and either maybe Metro offered some money that wasn't enough, or maybe Metro said, "I'm not giving you no motherfucking cash." Period. And that has now. I'll actually read it. Efforts to resolve the allegations against hip hop producer Metro Boomin, saying that he raped a woman in Beverly Hills in a hotel 9 years ago, is broken down, setting the stage for a trial that's going to be starting next month. In a new court filing signed by the lawyers on both sides, it says that mediation held with a judge, right, was unsuccessful. The parties mediated in good faith. However, the litigation did not resolve a joint status report filed Monday in federal court in Los Angeles. After the mediation, the parties have continued limited settlement discussions, which have proven unsuccessful. So it looked like Metro's team is, they're trying to have settlement discussions. And if you ask me, the settlement discussions probably include this. Motherfucker, if you think we're going to admit that we sexually assaulted you, you're out of your batshit crazy mind. What we'll do is, you know what, maybe we put you in a dangerous situation, but you're going to have to admit that we had consensual sex. That's what basically Shannon Sharp came out of that. Because basically the lawyer, Tony Busby, for the woman that sued Gabriela Zuniga, that sued Shannon, they came out and said, yeah, they had a tumultuous consensual relationship. And I'm pretty sure that was the sticking point. Yo, you have to admit that whatever you did with Shannon was consensual, and we will pay you this money, okay? But this idea that you get to say that it was non-consensual, no, we're taking that to trial. So maybe that's what it is with Metro. Metro's like, yo, like I'm gonna pay $400,000 anyway to a lawyer to fight this. Shorty, I'll give you $200,000 right now, but you got to just say that I never took the pussy, And maybe she wants more, or maybe she's like, well, I won't comment on it. Well, whatever that negotiation is, clearly Metro is not with what they're suggesting because he says he doesn't want to settle, okay? Even though he's been engaged in settlements talk. Okay, so it says, all right, bet. They became friends. He invited her on multiple occasions to chill at his studio, listen to music, process her grief over her dead 9-month-old son. And she took a Xanax the night of the attack, and she was handing a shot of alcohol. After she fell asleep on the couch, she woke up in a different bed with Wayne supposedly piping her out and R-wording her, right? It says, I got to stop saying Wayne because you're going to think of Lil Wayne. She claims that Metro later told her that they were at a hotel in Beverly Hills. She said a chauffeur-driven SUV took her back to the studio where her car was waiting. She says no point in the encounter was she able to consent to any sexual activity, and she says his conduct without question constituted rape and assault. Okay? She got pregnant from it, and she's also claiming that Metro mocked her experience because he produced a song called Rap Save Me, even though Metro doesn't rap. But the lyrics on that song that he did produce, but he didn't rap, says she took a Xanny and she fainted. I'm from the gutter, ain't no changing. From the gutter, rap save me. She drive me crazy. Have my baby. The lyrics is listed in the lawsuit. Basically, they're trying to say that Metro R-worded this girl and gave the story to a rapper who raps it on his beat. Do you believe that? Whatever. Okay. The woman's lawyer says that they're eager to get the case in front of a jury. When we first filed the case, Metro's lawyers predictably claimed that the allegations were false and he would defend himself in court. Since then, as outlined in a recent motion, he's failed to comply with basic discovery obligations and court orders in an apparent effort to avoid accountability. Meanwhile, we have pushed the case forward aggressively, and because of that, we are headed towards trial in 2025. We look forward to holding him accountable in front of a jury of his own peers. They're saying that, okay. All right. So, yeah, he's headed towards trial, and we'll see how that goes. Now, obviously, it could go any type of way because it's about being found liable, not necessarily being found guilty of you did that crime and that means you're going to jail. Regardless, Metro's not going to go to jail, but we're going to see the outcome of that, right? All right, people.